All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to our live earnings coverage. Good afternoon, Peter. How are you doing today? How's your day been so far?
I am doing great, Carlos. Thank you for welcoming me back. Happy to be here for earnings. I'm sorry I missed yesterday's earnings. Sounded like there was some fun had. Hopefully we'll get some more fun opportunities today.
Yeah, there sure was a lot of fun that was taking place here. We had a great time. Jared had a better time than we did. Good afternoon, Jared. He took an amazing trade on, what was it? SMCI?
SMCI was the kicker. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And we had Upstart too. I mean, there was some moves to be had. So if you were looking, I think money was had.
There was a little bit of everything for everyone, that's for sure. So today has been an amazing trading day, and let's see how it continues. So, all right, guys, we'll jump right into it. We have one that we've been anticipating for quite a bit is RDDT. This is Reddit. Again, I always say this is one of the most amazing IPO stocks I've ever seen. If you look at this daily, it opened up in 2024, March, and since then has not looked back. I mean, and something in November. I mean, this, as I mentioned before earlier in the pre-market show, morning show, this thing just went on steroids. It really did. Like, I just don't understand where this is going. It's just an amazing move from $100 to 230 plus here. Just incredible. So, Peter, this stock, what I feel like we don't talk about it much, but this chart looks amazing.
Yeah, well, Reddit has one of the two stocks we're going to be talking about here this afternoon that has over 350% growth over the last year. Now, Reddit, like we said, it's sort of like our most recent IPO. It's funny because I was reading an article where they said this thing IPO'd in February of 2024. The reality is its first trading day, as far as I could tell, was actually March the 21st, 2024. So it's probably that was the early IPO date. I like how people rewrite it. For us normal folk who didn't get in on the advanced offer, you know, March the 21st was the first time you could trade it. And I mean, look at this thing. It actually didn't do all that much for maybe the first half of its lifespan here publicly trading. But, ever since October, this thing has been on a tear. And people are really looking forward to the earnings. Let me just call up the data here that I wanted to talk to you. 1 second here. All right. So Reddit is, this is, it's sort of, I don't even know what to say because we haven't had many opportunities to really see their earnings as they come out. It's up so much that I think as Jared was saying a minute ago, actually, were we on air or off air? I don't remember, Jared. But anyways, this just feels like it's sort of priced to perfection, and there's a high risk that they're not going to be able to hit the numbers expected to really keep this thing going higher. They've been playing in AI like so many companies have. They announced a partnership May of last year with OpenAI, where they're going to, use Reddit to help train OpenAI's large language model. Probably a good way to do it. There's lots of, how can I put it? Lots of crazy language elements going on in Reddit. Have anybody ever, is anybody a Reddit user out there? If you actively use it, try and figure out the language. If you want to train AI to recognize unusual grammatical syntax, Reddit's probably a good way to do it. Like a lot of social media, but anyways, it'd be interesting to see what they report on that. From a number perspective, the expectation here is that they're going to be able to deliver about 48 cents per share on revenue of about 405.5 million. 405.5 million is the expected revenue. The big number that we're probably looking for, though, for Reddit is not actually their revenue or earnings, which is normally what we look at. In this space, it's about daily active users. That number is expected to be at 103.8 million. Now, if they come in anywhere shy of, I would argue, about 105 to 110 daily active users, I expect Reddit's stock to be punished, because really, daily active users is the measure of how active is this and is it growing. So while the analyst consensus expectation is the 103.8 million I mentioned, I think the number's got to be higher for it to be in play. All that being said, it's also interesting to know, if you look at the analyst consensus expectations for Reddit's price, so you guys know probably by now how I feel about our analyst community out there. Interestingly, most of the analyst expectations have the price below the current target price. So that means that one of two things are going to happen, right? Either the analysts will start to revise their target significantly higher after this earnings, or they're all going to give themselves a pat on the back for having targets that are under $200 for the stock price. Look, either way, right? The analysts are just playing. They love to play this game where they wait for the results, then declare victory. If tell me in advance what's going to happen, then I'll let you manage my money. But in any event, I think Reddit's going to be an interesting earnings play. It is one that typically doesn't get a lot of volume during the day. I mean, like, their average volume sits under $5 million per day, which is below my typical trading threshold. That being said, they're already over 5 million, and we still have 20 minutes left on this trading day. So I think going into this earnings and the close here, we probably should see some good volume and price action. May not last very long, but I think it'll be a fun earnings.
Yeah, should be interesting. Jared, I can't wait to hear what the expected price moves are going to be on this thing, because this one's it's a nice one, man. So what do you have for us?
Yeah, this is going to be a big one. As far as expected move is concerned, they're pricing pretty significant volatility here. As of recent check, we're looking at plus or minus $32 a share. And this stock currently sitting at around 215, maybe as high as 220, 230 at the all-time high so far. That puts a lot of volatility in range. A lot of recent trade is obviously in focus. So as far as what I'm seeing on the option chain outside of just the number and the implied volatility reading, which as always, just if you're new to this, I'm really just taking what the option market is pricing for the earnings. So it's a quick look into how volatile will this stock be, what sort of price target should we be expecting to hit, and then anything beyond that would be a little bit of a lower probability event, and possible but less probable. When I look into the option chain directly, I'm not necessarily seeing anything that's a standout target. I'm not seeing a huge price OI or volume coming in. But what I do see are key levels being hedged. The one that stands out on the downside is the 200 price target. So there's a lot of put activity there that's obviously in place in case this were to lose altitude on its chart. We also have some volume coming in at 180. And when you think about a $32 move, 180 is a little bit out of bounds, but it's definitely protecting some of the breakout traders who might have only gotten into Reddit maybe over the past 2 weeks. And those are kind of like the key price areas based on a more technical overview. If we are looking to the upside, I would say 32 plus 215. 250 sounds nice and round. Let's go ahead and shoot for that. But otherwise, there is plenty of room to move down here. There's also a bit of a technical pattern that's not confirmed. I'll be looking for that, and it's the classic head and shoulder. So if you're looking at Reddit on an hourly chart, which I have pulled up right now, there's a very clear neckline sitting around 210. So if we see some selling volume and maybe a clear move lower, getting to 200 seems easy. Getting it to 180 would be kind of pushing all the way back to those breakout buyers. And as far as things in range, both of them are achievable, but this market's bullish, so let's keep pushing it higher. 250 to the upside.
I would
Um,
love to see that, man.
and net, this company is not very big. We're talking about a $38 billion market cap. It's kind of pennies in the bucket when it comes to some of these other companies and the magnitude of market cap change that we experience every day. So, 250 might seem elevated from a share price or a trend level, but it isn't necessarily large from a market cap perspective. So, something to keep in mind.
Yep,
That's a
absolutely.
good point. Yeah,
Just
we
one
can't forget
second,
the numbers
Peter.
on this, right?
Brian, I see you logged into the chat room. Come in through VMix, and we're ready for you here, man. Because we can't hear you if you're talking through. Yep, we'll see you here. Go ahead, Peter.
I was just going to say, this is also a stock with only about 103 million shares in the float, which, while healthy, is not as big as some of the others that we could talk about, right? That has several hundred million or a billion shares in the float. So yeah, that smaller float size also means that you can get a little more active price action.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. If we can get some up numbers like 250 here, man, that would be wild. So let's see. Cannot wait for this one to hop on their earnings and see where it goes from here. All right, next we have is Hood, and Hood is for me it's not a great trading stock. I know they've been doing some things here. We seen it popped up a couple of times. We're normally not making our watch list. Usually when this is in play, there's other stuff that looks good. But here's another one too that again in November has seen a huge move from all the way from 25.90, the lowest like around 23 to about just below 57 here. So really great stuff since November. I mean, some of this is a Trump effect, of course. That was when that took place, but still doing pretty good here, Peter. What's the latest and greatest?
Yeah, so Hood is their second of the stocks here that we're talking about today that has gone up 350% in the last year. So big move up over the last 24 months. And this is largely driven on their entry into the crypto market. They announced how they're going to be sort of playing along with a lot of the crypto, I don't know what to call them, the crypto houses, the providers, support deliverers. Anyways, the back end, crypto trading houses. And while frankly, I think they've overstated their investment in it because they haven't quite come good on all of their promises, it's certainly been reflected well in their stock. And the expectations are fairly high as to what their earnings are going to be reflecting. So the expectation is pretty high in terms of Robinhood in this quarter. And this one, I can't say I've ever watched it after hours. I don't, like you said, Carlos, because it trades such relatively low volume. I don't remember ever sort of paying attention to earnings. So I don't know what to expect. Jared might have a better idea as to whether this thing actually trades well, in the post market here. But it's hit or miss, right? We'll have to wait and see. And I would recommend, if you're looking to try and trade this, watch that minute by minute volume, right? You've got to see enough shares that you've got a certainty of being able to get out of this thing, and you've got to be able to watch the spread on it, because the worst thing that can happen after hours is you think you're seeing an awesome move and you hit the button to get in and you're in like a buck or two higher than you think, or lower depending which way you're going. But that can really just mess up your trade totally, right? Because now it's got to move twice as far for you to just get back to your target price or your break even. So anyways, in this fourth quarter, estimates are expected to be somewhere around $935 million in terms of revenue, which for perspective, that's up from 660 million that they delivered in the last quarter. So that's a pretty significant, that's a 50% increase over their last earnings in terms of what they're expected to deliver. And their earnings per share are expected to be 41 cents versus the 18 cents they delivered in the previous quarter. Now, keep in mind, usually sort of third and fourth quarter numbers aren't always comparable because of different earnings profiles. That being said, though, those feel like pretty big numbers for Robinhood to achieve. I'm not saying they can't get there, but those are pretty high expectations. So we'll have to see what happens again with this stock also up so much. I mean, 350% is nothing to be sneezed at. So if you'd
Yeah.
bought into this a year ago, you're feeling pretty good right now. But if you're looking for, is it a good investment opportunity today, feels a little sketchier.
Yeah. Yeah. Could agree
Sketchier?
with that.
More
Let's see.
sketchy? Less
Sounds
certain?
good. We'll take it.
Jared, correct me on some grammar.
Spaghetti. Not my day to do vocabulary corrections, that's for sure. But
right, fair enough.
so yeah, Hood. Not so sure about the overnight trade. I'll be frank. I don't think I've ever taken this one after hours for earnings. The thing to really note here is the performance, of course, not only year to date, not only maybe even last year, but quarter to quarter. Most of our earnings buyers have been profitable. If we're talking about, after the reaction comes out and there's a little bit of price discovery, most of those areas are lower than the current price. And I've also got the IPO range highlighted, which I think is important for anything that is an IPO in recent past. That range kind of becomes in focus whenever price is above or below it. So initially, Hood kind of shot up and doubled from its IPO range. It obviously lost all of that altitude and then had a significant downturn and accumulation deeper in 10 and $6 ranges. But we are here now, so I'm mostly still thinking that this is a trend that wants to go higher. It is something that is still trying to clear a lot of the old levels, and it's still a small company, so I'm still kind of open to the idea that this is growth versus just price appreciation. So all that said, Hood's expected move is $7. And when you have a stock trading at about 56 right now, that's about a 12.5% move. It's a little bit lower than Reddit from a percentage perspective, but it is big. And it kind of deserves it because those companies tend to be a little riskier anyway. They're more volatile in general. So I was just looking at the option market, and there's high OI in a couple spots. 50 stands out really well. That's very much an earshot of a $7 move to the downside. It kind of thins out below that. So if we do lose 50, that would be kind of significant. It kind of puts a lot of put traders in the money and can drive some of the price action for tomorrow. The thing that was really interesting is there's a couple of call areas that are much heavier. And I'm not only talking volume, but also open interest. 60, 56 is where the current price is, and even 65. So there's definitely a slight lean to the call side of the market. There's also, and I know I'm a little in the weeds now, but there's also some trade going on for next week. And it looks as if they're selling 46 puts to buy 59 calls. It's kind of a bit of a risk reversal in this relative price range. So whatever trader is doing that, it's not a large size, but it's large enough to kind of catch the attention. They're actually looking to sell put premium and buy call premium, probably expecting this to be slightly higher and not necessarily be lower than 46 by next week. So some things to think about, all of which fit within the expected move, because we're talking somewhere around 63 to 65 and all the way down to 50 or 49 for a $7 move, higher or lower. So Hood.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, $7 moves for a $56 stock is quite a bit. So that should also be fun. Let's see where it goes here. And this stock is, again, when it's in play heavily, it is risky, so you got to be careful. And yeah, we'll see at the close how this goes. We have one last one we want to get to, and that's Cisco. Again, these three stocks again barely make our list, but again, the way they are today, tomorrow they'll probably hopefully be in play. Like we had our stocks today, UPST, which you normally don't play much, SMCI, a bunch of them traded okay today. Peter, what's the latest and greatest on Cisco and what they're up to?
Yeah, Cisco is probably the least growth focused of the three stocks. Once sort of darling of the stock market, but that's many a decade behind us. Cisco, just to be clear, this is Cisco, the network equipment company, not Cisco, the food services company, which is spelled differently, although pronounced the same. So their earnings are expected after the close as well, and they've, I sort of like their, they've had an interesting push over the last little while. We've talked about AI. They're also in the AI game, of course. Their focus is AI, as it's focused on, of course, the network component of tech infrastructure. And really, they've got their, what they call their Cisco Agile Services Networking Architecture, which is intended to really use the AI, sort of intelligence to radically simplify the networking architecture of large scale corporations and complex network environments. Anybody who's worked in a large corporation on the IT side knows that the network architecture is usually arcane, to say the best, to say the least. I mean, and it's very complex, right, to manage the respective firewalls to allow people proper access while protecting the corporation. Like, there is an underappreciated amount of architecture that goes into the back end of securing most corporations and that network. And imagine if you could radically simplify that by using intelligent AI tools that could dynamically route packets and information, rather than having to use the network architecture to provide some of that security and routing intelligence. It would radically change the game, which is interesting for Cisco, because in theory, of course, that would severely, they'd cannibalize part of their revenue stream, right? Because they count on large, complex environments buying a lot of network gear and a lot of routing technology to manage that environment. But they're placing a bet that what they can do is move to more of a software-oriented solution and reduce the reliance on that hardware security architecture layer. So, anyways, it's an interesting story. It's one that if they do well, they could really capitalize on. It's part of the story that they're portraying in their earnings. Although, keep in mind, I think I actually don't have the numbers, but I'm guessing 95+% of the revenue is from traditional, right? Their traditional sales and services. So while that's the thing that people are looking to as the next generation evolution of their corporate revenue value, right now that's not what's delivering the money for them. So, but I expect it to play heavily in their earnings call, which means that Cisco, no matter what they do on earnings outcome, right, in this quarter, I expect them to probably be at or slightly above their numbers. They're usually pretty conservative in their estimates, which means that they should be able to hit their numbers in this quarter as long as nothing terrible's gone wrong, and they have not called off their forecast. So we have no reason to expect anything's gone wrong. But I think their forward-looking story, their forecast-based story, is going to probably play heavily on their AI play. Then of course it'll be into the future quarters for us to see, are they able to deliver on it.
Yeah, should be exciting, man. Another one that's been tearing it up since the middle of last year, hanging out at 46, 45, 62. All these tech type companies just doing very well, except Intel. If you're Intel, you're not doing so hot. Got to figure something out. All right, Jared, on Cisco, what do we have here?
All right, so Cisco, pretty straightforward on this one. It's a plus or minus 3.5 expected move. It's about 6% for this type of relative share price. And we're looking to close around 62.50 some odd. So I'm gonna just go with some easy math here, 66 to the upside. And then a move down would probably bring it to, what is that, 59, I believe. I was looking at some other technical aspects because I didn't see anything clear on the option chart. Pretty much every dollar is well suited for a move. So there's liquidity at every dollar on the option chain. There's no standout prices anywhere. The technicals are kind of interesting because if you look at this whole chart, and this is obviously not the all-time high, but it's the 2022, I would say like Fed quantitative tightening high, the bear market high for most stocks. Cisco hasn't cleared it yet. And if we're talking about a move to 66, that's going to be a new local high, or I'll say year to date high. The only problem is that the tech bubble happened and there is a slightly higher one. But net, I think a lot of stocks are looking to maybe clear their bear market highs, and this earnings could be Cisco's opportunity to do so. I also marked another area somewhere around 56. That area appeared to be where the sellers stepped in last time this dropped, and that area appears to be lifted. So this is kind of open to new highs based on its price configuration, and we'll kind of see if earnings can kick it out there. Somewhere around 66 would be good.
It's funny. You mentioned something here exciting, man. There's not many companies that you can scroll back all the way to 1995, 96, wherever this was, and see a chart like this, right? Usually everybody's doesn't have that history, but yeah, man, going back to 81, back in the 2000s, right? So yeah, exciting stuff. All right. Looking forward to this one as well. As for earnings, as far as day trading, I don't like it as much, but earnings should be fun. It should be interesting to see how things play out here. All right, we're coming up on a minute from the close, and let's take a look on how things are going to start moving here. So let's see. Brian, you see you're on as well. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So we're gonna just a recap here. We're looking at $6 plus or minus on Hood, and Reddit looking at about 16 or 15 plus or minus, and Cisco about $3 plus or minus where we're going out here. So we'll just wait and see. We've had a bit of a sell-off here. Okay, go ahead, Jared.
So the expected move is you got to add both the call and put side. So you want to double Reddit and Hood. Yeah. So 32 for Reddit and 7 for Hood.
Right.
All right, there's the bell. We got Reddit here. Let's see how this goes. It's the one I'm really looking forward to see.
Cisco bouncing all over the place. Do we have anything being released right at the close?
You know what, let me check the times. I don't know what the times are.
Cisco's kind of bouncing around here.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think these times are
a few of these stocks really sold off in the last half hour here. Tesla really rolled over.
Yeah, Cisco's moving quite a bit. Popped up, back down. I got my Benzinga up, waiting for some numbers to appear. Once that's available, we'll read it out to you guys as well.
Reddit's moving up a little bit here.
Yeah, that's the one I want to see. I want to see Reddit. I want to see what's going on with this one. This one is just just a monster.
I do as well.
Yep.
Yeah, a couple of people in the main chat room. There's also APP and TTD. So AppLovin and the trading desk, I believe. Those are ones we did not look at, but are moving after hours. The trade desk. The trade desk is down pretty significantly here. So if you're finding opportunity there, it's just ones that we haven't covered. So.
Oh yeah, trade desk taking a 20% drop. That is pretty aggressive.
Yeah. So, a little bit of a haircut there.
Yeah, but this stock tends to do that, man. They tend to gap up down a lot. We've seen it plenty of times to make these type of moves, and they're not great intraday trading stock. They don't get a lot of volume, but we've seen them do this crazy type moves here. But let's see if it's gonna hold. Let's see if Jair's gonna go long here.
Good should be
For,
at 405 and Reddit's at 410.
you said hood 405.
405, yeah. And then Wood's at 410. I didn't see Cisco here.
Headline that came
Yeah,
across.
I am
Go ahead.
watching TTD here. A
Hmm.
little bit of buying at 95, but not so sure on the rebound side. Maybe just to 100. I didn't really take a hard enough look at this one. Very
I
hard to get
think,
filled on this one.
Yeah.
Very hard. A little risky.
Let's take a look. So just waiting to see Cisco not moving. Hood still waiting on that one, and then Reddit, of course, is gonna be a little bit later. So just look at the trade desk for now, because that's where the action is at the moment. Interesting headline came across here: Apple to bring Apple TV to Android phones. That's the first Apple software on Android products.
Hmm.
Interesting. All right, so here it is.
yeah, what an amazing opportunity today to buy some of these meme stocks like PLTR, gap down and just immediately got bought up. OKLO, same story.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that did well today to the upside. A lot of stocks
Yeah,
bouncing back. I had Baba today, man. That was my trade, and that was nice. But there was so many trades you could have taken. So many stocks did well today.
yeah, yeah. This market's just been awesome for
Yep.
that.
Today especially seemed very very good. Even
So
Tesla ran out pretty nice as well. Um,
Hood's coming up here. Stand by. Couple seconds. Here we go. Here's your
who's
pop.
that?
Hood's up.
Oh, Hood.
Cisco moving up as well.
Oh, look at that.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
go.
yeah. Cisco popped as well.
Anything above 64 some odd should be a new 2022 high, kind of like a breakout of the most recent highs. 65 to 66 would be ideal for upside potential.
Yep. Cisco
Hood's going
running
through
it, going.
60.
Hood going.
Here
Yep.
we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's 60 print. All right. Just selling some.
Which one, you're in Hood or Cisco?
Yeah, just took Hood long.
Nice.
58 and change.
Sweet.
That one should be reaching for 62 conservative.
Here we go.
That's our expected
Just
move here.
selling some more at 61. Woof. Yeah. Woof. Big drop back.
Look at
So
Cisco.
I'm mostly out of it. Yeah, I'm
Cisco
mostly
looks
out of it.
great.
I think I'm out in Wood. The rest of it, I don't know what's going on with that. Don't like that pullback.
I think
Yeah.
Cisco is
We got
now
out
at
of
a
most
new,
of it.
yeah, Cisco just cleared
Oh
the
wow.
bear market highs. So
Oh, this
Look
yeah,
at
is
that.
that's
just
Look at
taking
Cisco go,
off.
baby.
Up at 66 plus.
Hmm.
expected moves are working pretty well. Let's see if they can get beyond them.
Yep.
That's perfect. I mean, we close at 62.50, they hit 66, 3.5.
Yeah.
Perfect hit. Hood could go a little bit further. I see that it's struggling right now, so we'll kind of
Yeah.
keep an eye
It's
on that one.
struggling. Didn't like that drop.
Yeah, you had a good entry though. Allow you to get a nice move into 61.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. But yeah, not looking too hot right now. It's just pulling back towards the close.
Never feel these trades make me make my gut churn.
These are nerve-wracking trades. I don't do them anymore, man. I like calm and boring, but these are edge of your
Yeah.
seat type trades.
Oh,
Yeah,
Reddit.
totally.
Reddit's out. Breaking 210.
Look at that. Yep.
Ooh, look at that. Wow.
That's a
Reddit.
neckline break.
Come on. Come on, baby. Jeez.
Yeah.
Let's see if they pull back here. It might just go. Nope. So that one we're probably going to be looking for 32. We said about 180, I think. 25, yeah. Yeah, so they're going to drive it pretty low on that one. That's a big breakdown of the trading range that it was just in. That's a head and shoulder, by the way. That's what it looks like when you break the neckline. There's basically nothing underneath that'll stop it. So, good example of a technical pattern breaking down.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the numbers to come out. I don't see them yet on Reddit, Hood, or Cisco yet. So waiting for that to be posted. All I see is Apple headlines. Everybody loves Apple. All right. Hood trying to get going to the upside here, trying to find a base maybe. See if it can hold just right below 59. But red is where the action is, man. This thing is just wants to lose, that looks like here. Oh,
there it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Just lost 190.
Man, it's really, really weak. So
that's one. That's one where if you're kind of waiting for 210 to break, that kind of puts you right into the breakdown zone, and then you're riding this expansion right now. This technical pattern, you're supposed to kind of double the size of the range, and I'm not sure if we'll get all of it, but we're kind of hitting like the double target, so it's not quite the expected move, but it's more of a technical concept. You double once you break down. So if you're playing more technical, this would be an area of like covering, because some traders partial at the expansion targets. So you'll get like some reactions here, some small covering out rallies. But yeah, Cisco is blasting off, and Hood made a new high, but doesn't appear to be able to hold it well.
Yeah. Yeah, Hood's really volatile.
Curious how much further
like that
Reddit.
initial like that initial reaction. Are you gonna bottom fish here, Jared?
Not on Reddit. No, it's a breakdown pattern. I don't look for bottoms on those. I'm sure there will be bounces along the way, but it's hard to time them, and the sellers are already engaged with it, so they'll just keep selling into it. Different concept of like when to look for a bounce and when to not.
This 67 looks like a top on Cisco for the time.
Someone in chat mentioned bros, BROS.
Tempting. I was tempted to short it.
That is cranking. Which one, Brian? You were tempted to short?
I was tempted to short. 67 looks like a top on Cisco. And
oh yeah.
I was tempted to short it, but I think if it does pull back, it'll probably get bought.
Yeah, so, it looks strong.
I don't think the risk to reward is really that awesome. Awesome.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
Well, it's gonna be real interesting to see how PPI what it looks like tomorrow. We get that number.
Yeah, yep, yep. Looks like Powell survived the week, so we're not didn't get
Yeah,
anything crazy. So yeah, man, it's been fun.
all
All right,
right.
excellent,
Well,
guys. I know we have to. Yeah, I know we have to run a little bit early today because we got so much stuff going on. But I'm looking forward to tomorrow, man. Looking forward to tomorrow again. Another looks like another fun day coming up. And then next week earnings are very very light. So I was looking at the schedule for next week. We're probably gonna go on live on Thursday, and it's only like one that's interesting. But again, very light next week. We're off on Monday. I didn't realize until I was looking at the earnings calendar. This President's Day week,
yeah, Monday.
President's Day
Yeah,
Monday. So we're
Monday
off
is
Monday.
Mon
Um,
yeah,
but
Monday is
then
a holiday. So
yeah, so the following week though, it's earning mania, man. You got Nvidia, you got everybody reporting this. We're gonna have so much fun. So I'm looking forward to that. But we'll see. We'll always find something to trade. So far this morning we have Bros. Someone mentioned Bros. I'm sorry, this afternoon Bros looking pretty good, up 25%. But here, man, Cisco doing his thing. We had Hood. If you want that one's pulling back up. So nice. And then last one is Reddit on here as well. Jerry was right on this one. Not getting the bounce here, man. It looks pretty weak. So, all right. Jared, Brian, thank you guys. Really appreciate you guys joining us today.
of course, yeah. Another good
of course,
couple of stocks that are achieving their expected moves. So it's always helpful to have those targets in mind when you're trading.
Yep.
Yep.
So we're doing it again tomorrow for
No,
Airbnb, are we?
no, we're not doing Airbnb. We're done for the
Okay.
week. So we try to do at
And
least
coin.
two times a week, right? I think it's good.
Okay.
So we'll be
Yeah,
back
it's
next
good.
week with earnings. So yeah, guys over on YouTube, thank you so
Right
much.
on.
Hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate you guys being on with us today, and we will see you guys in the morning, 8:30. Let's see how these stocks play out into the market open. So have a good one, guys. Take care.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you in the morning, everyone. Jared, Carlos, have a good rest of the day.
Later, everybody.
Cheers.